I'm so sorry. I have an issue with my face says it all. I just hate flowers.
You hate flowers?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Like, why don't you just give me something that's living rather than something that's on its way to dying, and then it's gonna create more work for me, and I'm deal with that. But again, it's a solo perspective. I find flower shops depressing. It's just me. Do wish you luck. I'm so sorry.
I agree. I find them depressing because I feel like, I don't know, it's like the beauty of what a flower is. This is ridiculous. The beauty of what a flower.
Jenny Slate was said to have strong feelings about working with Justin Baldoni. Information from depositions that later became sealed shows that during questioning, Jaime was asked to explain a message Jenny had written. In that message, Jenny described the filming experience as uncomfortable and upsetting. She said many people on the project felt the same way. She also claimed that both she and Blake had raised concerns directly with someone at Sony and that the studio supported them. Jenny went on to say that Justin was not the ally he presented himself to be. She felt he was creating an image of himself as a supporter of women that did not match her experience. She called him dishonest and said she did not want to help promote that public image. At the same time, testimony revealed that a single remark about her clothing being sexy did not deeply upset her. She stated that she did not believe Justin was flirting or showing romantic interest. Instead, she said she felt let down by the comment. In her message, she mentioned that Sony agreed with her and Blake, which can sound like an attempt to show influence or build support by naming powerful people. However, other messages suggest she did not have a close or positive relationship with Blake, which makes the situation more complicated. Some of Jenny's statements did not match Blake's claim that a birth scene in the film was offensive. In one conflict involving other crew members, Jenny appeared to side with Justin. On set, there seemed to be tension around the idea that only women should be present for certain scenes, turning the project into a statement about female unity. Justin, as a man with a religious background unfamiliar to many, became a point of resistance. His faith began in Iran and promotes education, work, and equal value for women and men within families. While this belief system is not the same as modern Western feminism, it does support fairness and respect. Disagreeing on definitions does not automatically make someone an enemy. Justin's personal mission focused on helping men communicate better and behave with more care toward women. His past interviews and podcasts show that he talked mainly about men improving themselves, not about leading feminist movements. He never claimed to have perfect answers. If men are not allowed space to speak, learn, and make mistakes, it becomes difficult to include them in conversations about equality. It appears that Jenny and Blake wanted the film to be led by women and shaped by their voices. Blake may have encouraged Jenny to align with her, especially since Jenny was reaching a major point in her career. What stands out is that Justin never told him directly that she felt uneasy. Instead of addressing concerns face-to-face, she spoke privately with others. This lack of open dialogue created confusion and resentment. Many issues seem to come down to poor communication. Rather than speaking honestly with Justin, the two women shared frustrations with each other, reinforcing negative feelings. This kind of behavior can create a toxic environment, similar to how alliances form in school conflicts. Jenny also had problems with frequent hugs on set and with Justin greeting fans outside, since she preferred privacy. These concerns were eventually passed along to him by others, but by then, the damage had already been done. Miss Slate never spoke to Justin face-to-face about how she felt. When people stay inside a tight group that feeds on shared anger, small annoyances can slowly turn into long complaint lists. In those spaces, every action gets picked apart. Simple behavior, like someone stepping outside to greet fans who have waited all day behind barriers, suddenly becomes a problem. Justin saying hello, waving, and showing appreciation was turned into something negative. The real issue seemed to be that Jenny did not want pressure to do the same. She did not want to appear unkind, but she also did not want to make the effort. Privacy mattered more to her than acknowledging the people whose support made the job possible. Over time, Jenny and Blake collected reasons to stay upset. Many of those reasons were not serious problems, but personal dislikes framed as moral concerns. Inside that shared space, their thoughts bounced back and forth without challenge. This created an unhealthy cycle where complaints were encouraged instead of resolved. Jenny built a long mental list explaining why she disliked Justin, including choices that were not harmful at all. They were simply things she did not want to participate in. Despite all this, Jenny never brought these concerns directly to him. When someone else asked whether she wanted to make a formal complaint or take action, she said no. She was also asked about a comment Justin made about her clothes. She clearly said it was not sexual and that he was not flirting. She just did not like the wording. That distinction matters because it shows her discomfort was about tone, not intent. Another situation involved housing. Jaime offered to help cover a large security deposit so Jenny and her child could move to a safer place. The offer was framed around care and responsibility, but it was later interpreted negatively. From the outside, it appears that Blake created an environment where coworkers felt safe criticizing leadership. She listened, agreed, and reinforced the idea that Justin was wrong. That kind of validation can feel good, especially when frustration needs an outlet. However, it does not fix anything. Neither Jenny nor Blake seemed interested in solving the issue through conversation. Their goal appeared to be gathering support, not building understanding. This kind of behavior reflects a version of feminism that focuses on exclusion rather than growth. If someone has a problem but refuses to speak to the person involved, change becomes impossible. At that point, the goal is not improvement, but removal. Instead of showing appreciation for being part of a major film backed by serious funding, Jenny chose to side with Blake, who gave her room to express hostility without resistance. Alex Sachs then became part of the situation. She allowed complaints to circulate and joined in at times, while also wanting more authority on the project. She felt certain leaders did not deserve their positions, even though they owned and ran the company. Alex acted as the main channel for grievances, but intentionally left Justin and Jaime out of discussions. She believed they held too much control. By removing them, she created a wall where important information never reached the people who needed it most. This led to misunderstandings and rising tension. Over time, Jenny and Blake collected reasons to stay upset. Many of those reasons were not serious problems, but personal dislikes framed as moral concerns. Inside that shared space, their thoughts bounced back and forth without challenge. This created an unhealthy cycle where complaints were encouraged instead of resolved. Jenny built a long mental list explaining why she disliked Justin, including choices that were not harmful at all. They were simply things she did not want to participate in. Despite all this, Jenny never brought these concerns directly to him. When someone else asked whether she wanted to make a formal complaint or take action, she said no. She was also asked about a comment Justin made about her clothes. She clearly said it was not sexual and that he was not flirting. She just did not like the wording. That distinction matters because it shows her discomfort was about tone, not intent. Another situation involved housing. Jaime offered to help cover a large security deposit so Jenny and her child could move to a safer place. The offer was framed around care and responsibility, but it was later interpreted negatively. From the outside, it appears that Blake created an environment where coworkers felt safe criticizing leadership. She listened, agreed, and reinforced the idea that Justin was wrong. That kind of validation can feel good, especially when frustration needs an outlet. However, it does not fix anything. Neither Jenny nor Blake seemed interested in solving the issue through conversation. Their goal appeared to be gathering support, not building understanding. This kind of behavior reflects a version of feminism that focuses on exclusion rather than growth. If someone has a problem but refuses to speak to the person involved, change becomes impossible. At that point, the goal is not improvement, but removal. Instead of showing appreciation for being part of a major film backed by serious funding, Jenny chose to side with Blake, who gave her room to express hostility without resistance. Alex Sachs then became part of the situation. She allowed complaints to circulate and joined in at times, while also wanting more authority on the project. She felt certain leaders did not deserve their positions, even though they owned and ran the company. Alex acted as the main channel for grievances, but intentionally left Justin and Jaime out of discussions. She believed they held too much control. By removing them, she created a wall where important information never reached the people who needed it most. This led to misunderstandings and rising tension. During one incident, Alex described Justin as yelling from the director's chair and storming off. Jaime explained it differently. Justin was under intense pressure, dealing with time limits, staff changes, and emotional fallout from crew replacements. Stress was high. When Alex spoke up, Justin firmly reminded her that he was the director and needed to finish the scene. His voice was raised, but not violent. He hit the chair accidentally as he stood, not in anger. The scene itself was intense, which added to the moment. Afterward, he returned to work quickly, trying to keep production moving forward. Alex reacted strongly in that moment and asked others if they had seen what just happened. She felt shocked and hurt by Justin's reaction. Angie responded calmly and said that he was not wrong. She explained that he was leading the project and trying to finish the work. Alex replied that even if that were true, she believed he had raised his voice at her. Angie repeated that his position mattered and that he was focused on completing the scene. Alex then said that if something like that happened again, she would leave the set. This led to tension between Alex and others because some people did not understand why the situation had become such a big issue. No one wanted to dismiss Alex's emotions, but the way the event was later described seemed far more intense than what actually took place. Alex remembered the moment as angry and aggressive. However, people who were present did not describe it that way. Others said his tone was firm, not explosive. Even Alex later admitted that she did not speak up right then. Instead, she talked quietly with Angie, then walked out through the back door. Shortly afterward, someone went outside to check on her because she looked upset. There was a brief walk in an attempt to comfort her, though the details of that talk were not clearly remembered. What matters is the context of that day. The crew faced tight timing, budget pressure, and limited chances to film. They were working between strike disruptions, which meant every available hour counted. Equipment was rented, money was on the line, and expectations from the studio were heavy. Justin had responsibility for the final product. As the person guiding the vision, he needed the scene completed correctly. Stress in that environment is intense. Many people, when pushed that hard, raise their voices. Most workers have snapped at teammates or bosses at some point. High-pressure jobs often lead to emotional moments, especially when deadlines close in. There was also added chaos behind the scenes. Staff changes caused resentment and confusion among assistants. Some crew members felt unsettled after others were let go. Managing new teams while calming old tensions is not easy. On top of that, Justin was acting and directing at the same time, moving quickly between tasks without rest. Instead of showing understanding, some people chose to see his reaction as proof of bad intent. A little empathy could have changed everything. Someone could have said they understood the stress he was under. Alex could have reflected and admitted she may have taken it too personally. That kind of honesty might have reduced conflict. By that point, however, Justin already knew that some people wanted him removed from the project. Discussions about replacing him had happened behind his back. Knowing coworkers were trying to push him out likely affected how he reacted. Expecting warmth from someone who feels attacked is unrealistic. What made the situation worse was the pattern that followed. People spoke negatively about him, tried to take control, and then acted hurt when he responded emotionally. That behavior creates confusion and resentment. It turns a workplace into a hostile space where blame replaces communication. This was not about women versus men in general. Many women in the industry work with integrity, teamwork, and respect. They build healthy partnerships and solve problems directly. This situation was different. It became divided, manipulative, and fueled by alliances. The environment turned into something resembling social bullying, where people whispered, took sides, and painted themselves as victims instead of addressing issues openly. She created tension by putting one company against another and by turning coworkers against Justin so they would support her instead. She slowly built support by pulling people into her circle. She convinced Alex, then Jenny, and eventually several others to agree with her. Rather than speaking honestly with the people involved and trying to fix problems, they kept talking among themselves. They spent time arguing over small things and turned minor moments into major conflicts. In the end, nothing meaningful was solved, and the situation only grew worse. This behavior did not help women at all. Instead, it made everyone involved look bad. Actions like this give others a reason to doubt teamwork and fairness. It becomes hard to take real concerns seriously when they are mixed with exaggeration and personal ambition. Watching this kind of conduct makes some people feel ashamed because it reinforces negative ideas about how women treat one another in professional spaces. Instead of cooperating, they competed. Instead of supporting the project, they focused on control. Power mattered more than progress. Recognition mattered more than results. The film itself became less important than personal gain. They did not seem worried about harming the work, the crew, or the overall outcome. Each move looked designed to benefit one person rather than the group. Listening to testimony from Justin and Jamie was shocking. Their accounts showed confusion, frustration, and disbelief at what was happening around them. From their point of view, the conflict felt unnecessary and extreme. It sounded like problems were invented where none truly existed. The fact that this dispute reached federal court makes the whole situation feel even more troubling. Something that could have been handled through conversation turned into a legal mess. What makes this worse is how easily the chaos could have been avoided. Honest dialogue might have cleared misunderstandings. Direct communication could have stopped resentment from spreading. Instead, gossip replaced discussion, strategy replaced sincerity, trust disappeared. When people stop speaking openly and start building sides, workplaces become toxic very quickly. This kind of behavior damages more than just one project. It affects how future collaborations are viewed. It teaches people to be cautious instead of open. It encourages silence instead of honesty. When individuals chase influence at the expense of cooperation, everyone loses. Creative work depends on trust, respect, and shared effort. Without those values, nothing strong can grow. There are many women who lead with integrity, kindness, and professionalism. They create healthy environments and lift others up. This situation does not represent them. Still, moments like this stand out because they're loud and destructive. They remind people why some choose to keep their distance rather than get involved in drama. In the end, no one truly wins when conflict becomes the goal. Projects fail, relationships break, reputations suffer. All of it could be avoided by choosing maturity over manipulation. Instead of tearing others down, success should come from building something meaningful together.